Stay tuned for some poetic justice regarding the CZ guilty plea and calling Craig Wright a fraud. Watch this whole thing unwind. Stay tuned. William Shakespeare, in one of his plays, he used the term hoisted by one's own petard. When someone's own actions or schemes backfires on them, or they will fall into their own trap. If you call someone else a fraud and then later get convicted for fraud, you are hoisted by your own petard. Stay tuned. Remember this moment. This is 4 years ago.
Story of the day. Boom. Binance delists Bitcoin SV CEO calls Craig Wright a fraud. That's right. You heard it here first. Binance.
Matter of fact, let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand.
There we go.
Shout out to CZ.
There they are celebrating CZ.
Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange by reported.
All right, so here's the actual article. It's April 15th, 2019. Binance delists Bitcoin SV. CEO calls Craig Wright a fraud. Scroll over to this Twitter rampage. It says, to be clear, as so much, it is my strong opinion that Craig Wright is a fraud. This is his tweet, and he goes on to a rant further down the road. So now back over to what Craig Wright is questioned about CZ.
CZ. You mean as in Scamnance? Yeah, I mean, if you want an illegal shadow bank, FTX Mark II, I mean, just he's better at it.
Okay.
So remember what happened to Bernie Madoff? It took 10 years for him to go down too.
Yeah. So you think CZ's future is that of a Madoff, that of an SBF?
Yeah, he's basically money laundering. He says he has all these controls. I did an exercise a while back now where I, because I've got a mail server at home, I ran up tens of thousands of email addresses.
Okay.
Literally just numbers attached to things, and randomly filled out and did a web spider exercise where I basically filled out accounts.
Yeah.
And set up tens of thousands of accounts.
Okay.
Each with a 2 BTC per day withdrawal limit.
Yeah.
None of them were real. Things like 123 Fake Street as an address.
Okay.
And if you think about that, 10,000 accounts with $100,000 a day withdrawal.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the argument is, oh, we only limit things. Well, how is that limiting things?
Mm.
I mean, what, I can only take out $1 billion a day.
Mm.
That sounds like money laundering to me.
Hey, thanks for watching this YouTube video.
According to this government memorandum regarding plea proceedings is filed on November 20th. This is in the Washington District Court. The U.S. government filed charges against cryptocurrency exchange Binance and CEO Changpeng Zhao. Zhao agreed related to money laundering and sanctions. This is the memorandum regarding the plea. Zhao agreed to plead guilty in violation of the Bank Secrecy Act and paying a $50 million fine. Binance agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy and violating the Bank Secrecy Act, operating an unlicensed money laundering, money transmitting business, and violating sanctions. Binance agreed to pay criminal fine of $1.8 billion. I mean, and then an appointment of an independent moderator for 3 years, and prohibit Zhao from involvement in Binance for 3 years. Binance agreed to forfeit $2.5 billion in illicit gain from transactions. The agreement includes statement of facts admitting Binance facilitated illegal transactions and failed to maintain proper anti-money laundering procedures. Both sides agreed not to contradict the facts laid out in the deal publicly. So they're not gonna go out publicly and say otherwise. The plea deal resolved criminal investigations into Binance and Department of Justice regarding other actions. So in summary, it was a plea agreement involved Binance and CZ admitting criminal violations, paying huge fines, and implementing reforms and forfeiting actions. And it looks like CZ is going to be required to appear today, which would be the 21st, and then also again in February, and he's out on a giant bail. So this is I was trying to look for the word for this, whether it was like gaslighting, hypocrisy, irony. I couldn't tell. What is it? But it looks like it's hoisted by one's own petard from the old Shakespeare play. When someone's own actions or schemes backfires on them, or when they fall into their own trap. If you call someone else a fraud and later get convicted of fraud, you are hoisted by your own petard. Or maybe it's poetic justice. When someone suffers the very thing they tried to make someone else suffer, calling Wright a fraud and now pleading guilty to fraud and money laundering. If you falsely accuse someone of fraud, then you get convicted of it yourself. You're seen as poetic justice. Just saying, bro. Rather explosive news. Stay tuned. This is freaking, I'd say some of the biggest news I've ever seen in crypto, the phony crypto industry. I hope it's a reminder as well. I hope it's also just a reminder that, come on, guys, as we've hopefully known already, shown from this plea that crypto is a scam. I don't mean to make a little conclusion here, but let's just get our head straight, okay? There's 99.999% scams, and then there's just one remaining truth. So, and again, looks like the creator of Bitcoin is now coming out calling the guy who's now been guilty of money laundering. It's all coming to a head right now. I mean, it looks like poetic justice is about to happen. We got the big trial coming up in January. What's going to happen? Stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to put a hand cash link in the video in the description here below as well. So, if you like videos like this, leave a comment, send that out. And if it's your first time getting into Bitcoin SV, if you've never bought it before and you're starting to think ahead and realizing that something's going on, something might be turning, definitely send me a Bitcoin SV. All right. This is Gavin Mail. We'll see you next time. At the top,